accuse them of being rule breakers. They never give them the credit for their athletic ability. And that's why I'm here, to make sure that they're given the credit that they deserve. And not to belabor a point, they've given me their personal assurance that if you or Mike Third-Degree Burns or the dentist down there, Dan Moreland, ever get in my way, they're going to take any one of yous out if you don't watch your tongue.
Well, all I do is I come up here and I'm being impartial, calling the things the way that they are in the ring, calling the action, calling the moves of these great athletes that we have here in IPW. I would never say anything bad about any of these athletes. I have the utmost respect for all of them. Anybody that steps in the ring here in IPW has to be on top of their game and has to know what they're doing when they get in the ring. As much as you may not like them, or as much of the bad things you have to say about any of them, you have to respect them. You have to respect what they do.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Ed Zahn said before that the tag team division in IPW is going to be heating up. I wouldn't be surprised if one day you see GQ Bronsky and Doug Flex get in the ring for that tag team tournament.
GQ, great martial arts background. Should be interesting to see how him and Paul Smith Mitchell, or whatever he's called, the hair man, do.
And here comes the circus midget now. We seen him get an ass beaten in Steelton, Pennsylvania last night. He was the weak link in the tag team with him and Don Rott. He deserved to get thrown around the way he did. Let me tell you what, he's a crybaby and he's a wuss, and he's going to go out of this match the loser.
He's like he said, Paul Mitchell, I hate his hair products, but hey, I got to give him credit. He picked a pretty decent guy. The original Easy Ed Zahn, IPW's version of Val Venus.
He has never interfered. He will never interfere. I can beat this jabroni. 1, 2, 3. That's all I have to say.
Well, as you know, the stipulations of this match, Ed Zahn going to be at ringside, handcuffed to Doug Flex. I don't know if that's going to really do much good. I mean, look at the size of Doug Flex compared to Ed Zahn. I mean, I still think if Doug wants to interfere in this match, he's going to be able to. Look at him. He's just dragging Ed Zahn around ringside.
Yeah, that's kind of like the age-old saying, who's walking who?
GQ Bronsky again showing off for our camera up here. He's been doing a lot of showboating tonight.
And why shouldn't he? Look at him. The man's an asset to the business. And look at that Pearl Harbor sneak attack that Paul Mitchell. I can't even talk about him anymore.
Well, Ronnie, it's obvious that I don't appreciate looking at guys as much as you do, but, well, it takes all types, as they say. And now Paul Mitchell taking the initiative. He's going to work on Bronsky so far in this match. GQ Bronsky not faring too well so far in this match.
I wonder what Mitchell's trainer, Steve Blackman, would think. He's going against everything Blackman taught him right now. The reason why? The hatred he has for GQ Bronsky.
Well, I don't know what Steve Blackman thinks about anything right now, simply because we saw it last night. We saw it in Steelton. None of Blackman's boys are getting along with each other. They're all vying to be the top dog. And Paul Mitchell, he's one of the instigators behind all that nonsense. His mind can't be clear. He's going up against GQ Bronsky with emotion. He's not approaching it the way he's supposed to. And then he pulls that nonsense with Don Rott. You know, what is he thinking? Where is his mind right now?
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Ronnie Reigns. We seen last night that Paul Mitchell's formed sort of a union with Dana Hinkle, and it was Don Rott who caused all the trouble within the camp right there. So I disagree with you that it's all Paul Mitchell's fault. It's obviously Don Rott's fault. Now look at this. Look at GQ Bronsky now. He wants to make a truce with the man in the... Oh, and there you see it. A low blow by GQ Bronsky, the first sort of offense he's had this whole entire match.
Where? I didn't see any low blows. What are you talking about?
Well, you're not paying very close attention to the match in the ring. Perhaps you should wipe the hair out of your eyes and out of my eyes as well. Bronsky now, does he have some sort of leg lock submission move right here? What is this?
Well, with Mitchell, he uses a lot of high-powered moves, so what better way to get a high-powered wrestler at a disadvantage than working on the legs, Dave?
Well, there you see Mitchell knows his location in the ring, is able to get to the ropes. The referee has to break it. Johnny Graham, you talked about this last night, Ronnie, a bit of a loose cannon in there when he's refereeing.
The man's a psycho, it's obvious. Look in his eyes, he's not right. He shouldn't be an official in his promotion.
There you see it being very physical with GQ Bronsky in this match. Trying to lay down the law in there, trying to make sure these rules are followed to a T.
And look at Commissioner Ed Zahn trying to hold Doug Flex back. That's like a snowflake trying to hold back a rhinoceros.
Well, Doug Flex outweighs Ed Zahn by about 100 pounds, and there's not much Ed Zahn's going to do handcuffed to Doug Flex.
100 pounds, try 200. Ed Zahn weighs about 30 pounds soaking wet.
Ed Zahn now trying to rally the crowd behind Paul Mitchell. Toe hold there into a small package by Mitchell. Does he have him? Oh my God, I thought he had him right there. How in the hell was Bronsky able to get out of that move? Bronsky now continuing to work on the leg of Mitchell. Laying in the kicks. Looks like he's trying to go for the spinning toe hold once again. No, he's laying in more kicks. There you see it, a very, very painful move for Paul Mitchell to be in. You see referee Johnny Graham asking him for the submission and seeing if he's going to tap out. A good move there by Mitchell, able to reverse it into a submission move of his own. Bronsky able to get to the ropes, though, to break it up. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Doug Flex trying to get in the ring. Ed Zahn pulling with all of his might, trying to prevent that from happening. And now Mitchell's going over, laying in the kicks on Doug Flex.
Oh, there's no need for that. He could just politely ask him to step out. What is this barbarianism?
Body slam now by Paul Mitchell. Mitchell going up to the rope. No, he's coming out of the corner. I thought he was going to go up to the top. What's he setting up for here? Snap suplex by Paul Mitchell. From the looks of the way Bronsky's laid out in the ring, I think Paul Mitchell has him right exactly where he wants him. Bronsky struggling to get to the ropes. And speaking of struggling, look at Ed Zahn and Doug Flex. Doug Flex struggling to get into the ring. Ed Zahn now gripping onto the bottom rope like some sort of spider monkey, trying to prevent Doug Flex from climbing into the ring.
This is hilarious.
And I think GQ Bronsky has tapped out. I think we have a victory for Paul Mitchell.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You heard exactly what I said. And now look at this. Look at this. Paul Mitchell going to work on Doug Flex.
This is disgusting. There's no need for this. None whatsoever.
Mitchell looks like he has a version of the Kata Hajime on Doug Flex.
Whatever it is, certainly very effective. He has subdued Doug Flex.
They got to get someone from the locker room. There's no need for this. None whatsoever. What has Doug Flex ever done to Paul Mitchell?
Well, Doug Flex tried to interfere in that match. We all seen that. The only reason he didn't interfere was because he was handcuffed to Commissioner Ed Zahn.
GQ Bronsky came in trying to take the legs out of Paul Mitchell, but in the end, Paul Mitchell used that to his advantage, turning him over and using a leg submission of his own.
You know, I don't care what anybody says tonight. I'm keeping my eye on Doug Flex and GQ Bronsky. I see nothing but good things in their future. They remind me of such combinations as Yokozuna and Owen Hart. Everyone knows that they were tag team champions. And look, what's Johnny Graham doing? The camera's obviously not going to see this, but Johnny Graham's bringing Ed Zahn back to the ring.
Well, Johnny's just telling the commissioner Doug Flex is injured, and so is GQ Bronsky. I mean, he was just doing his job.
I have to agree with you there. I think Ed Son being a little